Hi guys and welcome back to White Lines Football. I'm Ibrahim Quadja and we're back with the usual Lewis Browning, and today we're having a Q&A.
So viewers of the channel have sent their questions in and we're going to answer them. We've got 10 questions to go through. We've got our notes here because we're not smart enough to do it without research. We're going to get off with number one.
Get off with. So the first one is from GFC Louis.
I think it's Lewis.
So he says, there's a free kick 23 yards out in the last minute of the Champions League final. Who takes it?
I guess you're assuming that anyone in the world can take it. He did mention past or present as well. So we've both made a short list, 5 each roughly. First people that come to my mind from the past is Roberto Carlos, hit a few bangers, maybe some inconsistently. Also, Ibs mentioned to me how the free kick is 23 yards out, not further distance, and Carlos is more well known for the further distance free kicks. I've got David Luiz in there, who's got a good technique, sometimes a bit inconsistent as well. Ronald Koeman, who took a few good free kicks for Barcelona.
I didn't think of that one.
Neymar, he recently scored one against PSG. Although he's not that well known, he takes a good free kick. And the one I think I'm going to go with is Dimitri Payet, because although he's not a very nice person, you feel like he could bang it in at any time. And during his short tenure in the Premier League, you sort of saw him. Yeah, you saw him hit a fair few.
Yeah. All right. So for me, I've gone for. I'm going to say all of them first. So I've gone David Beckham, Yaya Toure, Ronaldinho, Alexis Sanchez, and Pirlo. So Beckham, well, he's kind of synonymous with free kicks, so I feel like that's kind of an obvious one. Yaya is mainly because, you know, when he came back to City and he had that phase where he couldn't miss free kicks. They were close range and he was getting them top bins every time. I think if he can get back to that, if he was on that form, then I feel like I wouldn't pick anyone else in the world because he was doing it so consistently. Ronaldinho, he's got a great curl, he's got great technique. I think he could do something special. Alexis Sanchez, again, kind of.
Fan.
Yeah, I mean, it is biased, but I mean, I don't think realistic of those lists, he'd probably be my least likely I'd pick. But, you know, I kind of got to throw him in there. And then Pirlo as well, because basically the same thing with Ronaldinho. He's got great technique. He doesn't put power on it. He's just got precision.
Number 2 is from Jim Formal, our graphic designer Jim. Link in the description. If you could have any current 3 players in the world playing in a back 3...
that was so passionate.
Thank you. I'm passionate. Who would you have? So there's so many options. Yeah. Ibs, what have you written down there that I can see?
I'm out. I can literally think for about a week and a half and I still wouldn't have a single name down. There's so many viable options and I couldn't pick just 3.
He's basically bottled it like Arsenal do every season. So I suppose it's done well. Obviously the back 3 has different roles. So the centre back's there to sweep. You could argue that he comes out to play the ball out from the defence. But also I've noticed in back 3s the sort of right and left side of centre backs come out forward more as full-backs rather than wing-backs, but full-backs, also centre-backs. So more slightly defensive full-backs, I'd say. So looking at the right side, I've gone John Stones. Although he's not like world-class yet, I've sort of said that he's very comfortable on the ball. Yeah, John Stones. I've also gone with Gerard Piqué, known for being good on the ball under Pep Guardiola at Barcelona, and Leonardo Bonucci from Juventus. For the left side, I preferred to have a left-footed centre-back. I've gone with Laporte from Atletico Bilbao. I think he's still there, and Chiellini from Juventus. So for the centre-backs, I've gone with David Luiz, who's shown he could do it at Chelsea, Virgil van Dijk, who I believe could play at the top level, Sergio Ramos and Diego Godin. But from those choices, I think I'm going to go Piqué, David Luiz, Laporte.
This one is from our mate Lewis Fisher, Ben Thanker. So he says, who do you think is the most promising Gills player? I mean, there can't be any. There's no debate.
I know exactly who you're going to say.
It's undisputed. There's no question.
I know who you're going
to say. It's obvious. Some call him Aaron, but if you really know who he is, his name is Aaron. Aaron Simpson. Aaron Simpson, lads. That's the one.
So I've gone with Aaron, my friend Aaron. That's slightly biased, but he's a good player. And Nolan Bow, who's a striker, has scored many goals for the youth team. He's got a professional contract recently with Aaron. I feel like he could get a good chance in League 2, especially if we get relegated, or he could get a good chance in the team because he looks a very promising player. Fourth one is from Jack, who couldn't be here today. At JBuckley78 on Twitter. What would you do as City manager next season with both Aguero and Jesus being high in demand for game time? We sort of come to a similar agreement, really, didn't we?
Pretty much identical to us, yeah.
Yeah, so we basically said that, because I think like Pep Guardiola said in the press conference that Jesus can play wide left with Aguero up front. I know it comes into a lot of problems because Sané and Sterling have been doing so well. To be fair, 4 quality forwards and all the competitions they're playing in, they're going to need all of them. They may not be a consistent starter, and then we basically said that sort of you rotate it based on form, based on the cup competition. So assuming they're going to be in the Champions League sort of thing. Yeah. Because they're both going to get you goals. They're both good players.
Yeah, absolutely. 100% agree. You could sort of reformulate your formation in itself. Risky because I think City's biggest fault was they never knew who their main team was when they were in that bad phase.
But you could just do it based on form. So like,
Aguero's
totally. Obviously a world-class player, but Jesus or Jesus, like he was scoring goals before his injury.
He's got the potential.
Keeping Aguero out of the team.
He's a future prospect.
But Aguero's shown that when he comes into the team, he can get goals on a consistent basis. So I'm sure it doesn't really matter.
Alright, so this question is from Reese Boast. He says, what's your most memorable football memory?
So we're going to go with things from our own team, so Gillingham and Arsenal. I'll let you go first.
Okay, so the first one has to be Thierry Henry returning. That he came on as a sub immediately. Was it against? I think it was against Leeds. Alex Song plays ball over. Thierry Henry takes a touch and then bangs it far corner. Absolutely gorgeous goal. I watching it live and I just erupted. We're celebrating. It's going crazy.
Such an Arsenal legend.
Yeah, it was such a golden moment that just hangs in your memory. And the second one, 3-2 win Arsenal FA Cup final against Hull. Ramsey scoring the third goal for Arsenal, getting the winner. It was the cup final where we honestly thought when we were 2-0 down that it's going to be standard, typical Arsenal, that we, the bottle job. And then Santi Cazorla's inspirational free kick brought on one of the most incredible cup finals.
As a Gillingham fan, mine was second place. I know these could be debated either way around. Second place has to be winning the league in 2013. So I never thought I'd see Gillingham win a trophy or a league in my lifetime. We won the league. We sort of stormed League Two really. Went up to League One where we are now. Probably going to be out of here at the end of the season, going down. But it was very good seeing them lift the trophy. It's just something you always imagine seeing your club win a league title. But in first place is the 2009 playoff final because Simeon Jackson, 88th minute, winner. We lost 7-0 earlier in the season to Shrewsbury, who we played. I must have been 10 or 11. All I remember is I didn't even see the ball hit the net. I just saw the cross come in from Josh Wright. Gill's legend, mate. I'm telling you, Josh Wright. I saw the cross come in. My dad just picked me up. I don't even know what he was doing. He was going to body slam me on the seat. It was just mad. It was just ridiculous. Seeing you, like a team like Gillingham, seeing them live at Wembley and seeing them win as well was just an exceptional experience. Number 6 is from Zach Gerard 0906. He says, what is England's best starting 11 all being fit? I'll let you go first because we've both written down our teams.
Yeah, okay. So, I'll kick off. By the way, the one we did on the podcast with who's currently fit. So it's slightly different.
It's out of the squad.
But to be honest,
these two games.
Yeah, for the most part, it's pretty much the same. In goal, I've got Joe Hart. I've got on the right back, I've got Kyle Walker. In the centre, I've got Cahill and Smalling. And then left back, I've got Daniel Rose. I feel like that one kind of speaks for itself, to be honest. Just sitting in front of them is Dyer. Again, you can work out why. Then in front of them, I've got another 3. I've got the Ox. I've got Ali, Dele Alli, and then I've got Sterling. And then directly in front of them is the 2 strike, Kane and Vardy.
Very attacking there.
Yeah.
Sort of like a diamond.
Very aggressive, yeah.
I've gone for, which I was quite excited because I wrote this down the other day when I saw the question, and I thought I'd never get this formation in England, but Gareth Southgate is actually lining up with a 3-4-3, which is the formation of my team. So I've gone Jack Butland in goal.
Oh, shit.
Joe Hart has made a few errors. Jack Butland's young, very talented. Right centre back John Stone. Left centre back, slightly off a debate, but Ben Gibson. He's not in the squad. He's in a solid Middlesbrough defence. He's very good on the ball. He's very good defensively. He's a very good leader, so that'll be in there. On the left side, he's left-footed. Gary Cahill sweeping. It was tight shootout between him and Chris Smalling, but Cahill's still done well for Chelsea at the minute. Admittedly, not in the middle of the 3. Left wing back Danny Rose speaks for himself. Right wing back, I've actually gone with Antonio because I think he's very talented.
Really?
I wouldn't be too fussed if Kyle Walker either way. The holding out of the sort of 2 in midfield is Eric Dyer, obvious reasons. Next to him is Adam Lallana, who tonight is playing on the right wing. I've got him playing deeper as he does for Liverpool, sort of attack, playing from deep, the playmaker. So you sort of see Matic, Fabregas play that role for Chelsea. Dele Alli, one of the 2 behind the striker, speaks for itself. England's probably best prospect to the minute, arguably best player. The other side was a shootout between Raheem Sterling and Ross Barkley. I've gone for Raheem Sterling at the minute. Ross Barkley, though, wouldn't be too fast. And up front, it's Harry Kane, speaks for itself also.
I just want to apologise if anything has moved because Ibs has gone to toilet and he just knocked the whole camera setup everywhere. Oh, what have you done, mate? Seriously.
So, number 7 from FOM blog. FOM_blog. FOM blog.
Lee Clifton on Twitter.
Okay, him. It says, if you could implement or change any 3 rules in football, what 3 rules would you look to change? What would you do?
Well, we sort of came together on these
Oh, yeah,
as well,
actually,
didn't we? So, first of all, we mentioned the away goals rule. Stupid, it kills ties regularly. It shouldn't matter where you're playing. Like, you have to play both ways. It should just equal each other out.
I think it was Gary Lineker who said it.
Yeah, it was Gary Lineker was very
He
passionate
said
about
that
it on Twitter.
all goals should be equally worthy of each other. You should all have the same weight, effectively.
That's true.
So away goal to me just it's so irrelevant. It's so irrelevant. Okay, so the next one is about celebrations. So I'm gonna say one half of it, and you can say the other half.
Okay.
So my one is about taking your shirt off. I think in the heat of a moment when you're extremely passionate in a game, you just, if you're
So
really,
what you do.
yes, you can't help it. It's effectively an urge. So the fact you take your shirt off and then get a yellow card for that, which could equal, in some circumstances, that could be a suspension. All because you were extremely happy and wanted to translate that
That's
to
what
the
it's about.
fans.
That's what sport's
Exactly.
about.
You need the sport runs on that connection. So the fact you can't even celebrate properly just infuriates me.
Yeah, I've written celebrating in general, so taking a shirt off, but also celebrating with the crowd. So like Josh Wright, specifically, Gills fans will know, he recently got a yellow card after scoring his third goal against Scunthorpe, his third penalty. I didn't really see what his celebration was worthy of. He ran towards the crowd, like I didn't see what it was worthy a yellow card of. I don't see why that was a yellow card, and he got a 2-game suspension from that, and Gillingham lost the 2 games, so it's pretty big for just showing passion. Yeah. Thirdly, we've gone with diving bans. So obviously people get a yellow card if they dive, but I think I saw someone talk about this, that if you get caught diving, I'm not sure if it's official, but I think about bringing in a ban after that.
A referee will see a player dive. He will see the dive and not give the foul because he's like, you dived, and then won't even call the foul.
Yeah. It's like when you say it's either a penalty or a dive.
Yeah,
it's not nothing.
You've got to give either way. That whistle needs to be blown, and a yellow card has to go to either the defender who's either done the foul or to the person who's dived. Sometimes, I think it should be if you're diving consistently, shout to Ashley Young and so on.
Ashley Young.
Dives
against Gills.
Infuriates me. Those circumstances, if you're consistently diving, you've got to get a ban, because you're just not going to learn your lessons. Because to be honest, a yellow card, if you don't get a suspension out of it, it's just going to be like a little bit of money that they're willing to give away. Otherwise, it's just a stat. So there needs to be a genuine punishment that the players actually feel.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Number 8 from GFC Johnson, I think it's Sam on Twitter. How will England perform in future European competitions? Same old or something new? I think we've actually gone for different answers to this, so you can go first.
Alright, so I've actually said same old. I look at the England squad at the moment and I see great potential, but I don't see players who are game changers. And maybe that's simply because they're players who haven't got to their potential yet and they still need time. But at the moment, I just don't see players who, in, 10, 15 years, we're going to go and consistently remember them and think about them and talk about them. And I don't, if you look at teams that win the, European Championships, even the World Cup and so on, you have those names that are synonymous with success and this certain ability.
Yeah.
And the only one I see really at the moment is probably Harry Kane. Delhi's getting there and so on, who got the potential to it or haven't got there yet. And I just think at the moment it's the same old as a squad.
So I've written that. Well, as I've said already, England play 3 at the back. New system has proved success with Tottenham, with Italy, with Chelsea. If they use the players correctly, it also depends on how Gareth Southgate does. So he said the other day, I think it was yesterday, that England have had success in all sports and it's their time to do it in football. He wants to get the ball down and play, which is how you play football. And if he could be successful, he wasn't that successful in his past 10 years, but he won stuff with the England under-21s. He knows the country, obviously. He knows what it's like because he's recently a player. He knows the system. I think England could do well, but it depends on how they use the players and all of those factors as well.
So number 9 is by GFC Owen, and he says, moving away from the English game, given their success in the Champions League and League One this season and the money at their disposal, can you see Monaco moving away from the tag of a selling club and become part of Europe's elite, potentially even overtaking PSG as France's elite club?
So all you've had recently is PSG in League. We've got Nice, you've got Monaco. It's not that much of a competitive league. It's called a farmers' league by some people. Monaco, top of the league. I think it'll be massive for them if they can win the league this season. I think they're 3 points clear of PSG. If they can beat them to league, that'll be massive because they've got the funds to compete with them. Not necessarily the exact funds, but they're a rich team. Like Owen said, they've got the money. We saw the quality of some of their players against Manchester City. If they can keep on to them, that'd be massive. And going on from being a selling club, which Owen said, I think if you're top of League, you're being successful in the Champions League, which we've seen. They've got Dortmund. They've got a chance to get.
Oh, you stupid idiot!
Is he dived?
You stupid idiot!
He's dived.
Why
we literally talk about dives and Vardy's dived.
Why have you done that?
So like I said about Monaco, they've got the chance to beat Dortmund, they've got the chance to get into the semi-finals to win League. I don't see why they can't attract the elite players. We'll see what they actually go for because it depends on behind the scenes. If they can attract the elite players and keep the elite players, they're doing well. If you want to go to that league, you'd look at going to Monaco, I feel.
From my perspective as a bit of an outsider, I would say realistically it would depend on their Champions League performances. Simply because I think even if they were to win the French league, even within Europe and internationally, I don't think that would gain enough recognition.
of the league
Simply,
it is.
simply because there's two teams. There's literally two teams that can win it.
So the final question, number 10, is from Italian Jules fan. Will Kante win the PFA Player of the Year, so the Player of the Year for the Premier League? I'm going to start off. I've said yes because I think he's shown how key he was at Leicester. I know that's last season, but now he's moved to Chelsea and he's going to win the
He's still
title
showing, yeah.
2 years in a row. He's still showing the consistency. He showed some people blasting him as the best midfielder in the world. I think Joey Barton came out and said he can't be because he's not playing in the Champions League, but it's coming from Joey Barton. Kante's shown well in the best league in the world, most competitive league in the world. He's shown that he can do very well. He's helped out Chelsea's back three massively. It's so good for them just knowing that they've got
That solidarity.
yeah, probably the best defensive midfielder in the world in front of them. There's no other really standout player, so you can look at Harry Kane, you can look at Alexis, but there's no one that's like blitzed it if you look at like Hazard from a couple of seasons ago. And also he's finally getting recognition for what he's doing, so there could be a chance that a defensive midfielder finally gets it rather than just your usual goal scorer.
I put so far probably as my thing, but I was going to go into detail and literally I was going to say absolutely exactly same as what you would say. So yeah, I thoroughly agree with.
I'd give it to him.
Yeah,
personally.
at the moment I would say him just because there's no one else really. Like Harry Kane is the only real contender, because even like I would say Alexis obviously, but he hasn't been consistent enough. Kante has. He has been a
every
stand-up
week.
performer. There's not really many of them this season, but he is definitely one of them.
So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. We hope you had your question answered and to a good standard.
Be sure to like, subscribe, share this video, comment below, and thanks so much again for watching, and we'll see you later.